Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about whether the limited time quest is worth running or not. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the very first thing I want to go over is, yes, there is a new limited time quest. It is called the Zenith Firefight. I did go over this yesterday. I said it was incredibly fun, and I did mention about the loot. Now, this limited time quest is incredibly fun because it's a boss rush. The main selling point for the boss rushes are they are short and sweet. So there's literally 3 different waves of bosses. The first one is Rachni, you kill that, and then there's like 2 bosses that spawn, you kill those, and then you get the giant Gundam that spawns and you kill that. So, you know, they are all incredibly fun, but something that a lot of people tend to oversee is around the arena there are a bunch of these like data looking pods, which if you just interact with it, it fills up your Mars gauge. So that way you can immediately go into Mars, especially during the 3rd phase. On the 3rd boss, it is pretty important that you just go into Mars and you just deal extra damage that way. And it makes the run significantly smoother and significantly faster. Instead of everyone just wailing on the boss, you just use Mars and then you wail on the boss. It does a lot more damage. Even if you decide to sit back and just use Hydra, you're still going to be dealing significantly more damage, especially if you don't have very good gear. However, something that I want to remind everyone is to actually use your Mars bars, your Mars updaters. You probably have a surplus of these Mars updaters because you've been running Nameless City, you've been running the limited time quest, you've been running Lucille Exploration. So please make sure that you actually use all of these updaters and convert them into points, as it directly impacts how strong your Mars actually becomes. So when we come over here to the class counter, all you need to do is go to Mars skill over here, and over here Mars skill point exchange. This way you can exchange all of your Mars updaters. As you can see over here, I've got 185 of these Mars updaters, which will actually translate into 57 more additional points. That is actually a very big deal because you can scroll down here and look at that. We can get more PP if we want, or more HP, but for me personally, I want to get my critical potency up first. That way I deal more damage, and then maybe we can get some more HP, I suppose. Now, if you don't want to press the minus and plus button because you're like, oh, I gotta get my PP up all the way to max level, you can just press the little symbol that is on top of the plus or minus button when you hover over said skill. So for example, let's say PP up over here. If I want to increase this without clicking the plus button, it's the period button. So we hold down the period button and look at that, wabam, we get it up really quickly. But I want to max out my HP first, so there we go, confirm. And even if you do pick the wrong ones and you're like, oh crap, I didn't actually want max HP, I wanted more on PP, you can simply just click the minus button over here and wabam, we can now put more points over here as well. So super easy, and again, you can just use the comma key to redact and then the period key to allocate more points. Alright, so make sure that you do max out all of these skills over here, and of course, more importantly is if you're using Hydra, you max out Hydra. If you're using Nidhogger, you max out Nidhogger, Garm, as well as Skilla. Alright, so you just get to pick whatever and just max these out. Now, something that you might want to take off, especially if you're using Hydra, is the quick evade. I had this 1 point on quick evade, and it's gotten me killed a lot of times. Many times I've been killed by this because, well, I just forgot that I had quick evade. What quick evade actually does, as we can see here, jumping with back, left, or right held down while locked onto an enemy changes the jump to a maneuver that dodges attacks while moving rapidly. So instead of actually jumping up into the air, you do like a dash to the sides. So that's not actually what I want, especially against Darkfall's Dalian rank 2 near the very end. This has gotten me killed many times. Now, other than quick evade, forward thrust as well as vertical thrust can also be disabled depending on what you like. Personally, I just disable all of them because it gets me killed all the time because I'm just not used to playing with these. So I disable all of that, and wabam, there we go. But now to address the elephant in the room, and that is, of course, is the limited time quest worth running? So the limited time quest really only has one item that is worth a crap ton of Meseta, and that is the weapon camo. As you can see over here, the weapon camo is for twin machine guns, wired lances, as well as jet boots. And this is how they look like. They do look pretty awesome, but the main reason why they're going for a lot of money is because when you sheath these weapons, they actually become shoulder pads. They look really freaking awesome shoulder pads. So let's say that you are using the red cape that is currently available from the current scratch. If you have these weapon camos and when you sheath them, it looks like you've got some of these awesome looking red shoulder pads with all of these cool particle effects, and then the cape just perfectly lines up with them. So that is one of the main reasons why this is going for 50 million. It's a lot of money. Another reason why these are going for so much money is because they are incredibly rare. The drop rate is very, very low for these. So if you do want this, you know, it might be worth farming the limited time quest a couple of times. Try your shot, see if you can get this, and then you'll be able to sell this for a lot of money if you do get one. However, that isn't the main reason on why I personally will be running the limited time quest. I will be running the LTQ once every single day, maybe twice or maybe thrice if I really want to. But the main reason why I'm going to be running it is, of course, because of the dailies. As you can see over here, by completing this once every single day, you get a special scratch ticket ×1, but more importantly, you get an N Augment Transfer Pass voucher ×1. This is incredibly important because, as I've told you many times before, the Augment Transfer Pass vouchers are incredibly rare, and most of the time, if not all the time, they are always time gated. So you do want to do your daily every single day, at least this specific one, so that you start working towards your Augment Transfer Pass. So when we look over here at our transfer passes, you can see I have exactly 100 right now, so we can make another full Augment Transfer Pass. For those who don't know how to turn the vouchers into a full-on Augment Transfer Pass, you simply press escape, go to shop over here, go to item recycle, and it's right here, N Augment Transfer Pass. Click on this and you can exchange 100 vouchers into one full ticket, and there we go. So now when we open up my all storage, you can see that we now have 2 Augment Transfer Passes, so this is incredibly nice. But other than the dailies as well as the super expensive weapon camo, the rest of the loot is pretty mediocre. Hell finales do drop. I did manage to get one yesterday out of 2-3 runs, so it wasn't that bad. But then again, I've seen Alex West run this like 10 times or something, and he didn't get a hell finale, so I can only assume that the drop rate is pretty rare. So I wouldn't really farm this specifically for hell finales, considering that you get like 2 hell finales for free every single week as long as you just do your trade-ins. So I wouldn't really go too crazy for this. And then as for your Exalia weapons and Ecstasis armors, they seem to be pretty rare, but if you really need an Exalia weapon because you know you are planning for next month and you still don't have Ecstasis armors, you can definitely take advantage of this because it is relatively painless. Each run is like 5 minutes maximum, so it's not that bad. And at the end of the day, you do have all ship matchmaking, which works perfectly fine so far. And so you're able to play with all of your different friends, or, you know, maybe you just want faster matchmaking because you don't have friends and maybe you play on like ship 4 or ship 3, which is a little bit less populated. Well, by enabling all ship matchmaking, those queues are going to be a lot faster. So you don't need to deal with, you know, wasting time sitting in queue. So in conclusion, is this limited time quest worth it? It's definitely worth doing once every single day for the daily, because you want your N Augment Transfer Pass vouchers. Those are very valuable, those are limited time, so you definitely want to do that every single day. But other than that, you know, the rest is really optional. Like, if you still have a lot of gear to upgrade, yes, the Exalia weapons, the Ecstasis armors drop there. You do get a chance of that weapon camo. If you manage to get that to drop, you instantly become a multi-millionaire. So there is always that big jackpot item sitting there in case you do get it. You know, that could be a little bit of a motivator. The Hell Finale augments, I wouldn't farm specifically for that, simply because, again, every single week you can get 2 of them by just exchanging your Aegis Integras, so I would just use that method. But for me personally, I just run it once a day. I literally just do it for the daily, and then after I'm done with all of my dailies, this month is literally me sitting back, drinking margaritas, and I've been farming in the First Ascendant. I picked a different poison instead. The First Ascendant, we are currently farming for Ultimate Bunny. We got the super difficult part. We got the code, which was like a 6% drop rate. We got it in 11 attempts total, but it was really funny because we got it on our first attempt yesterday, and like chat just went crazy. They're just like, what the hell? What is this RNG? And then we got to the, it's not the stabilizer, I think it was the catalyst, which is a 20% drop rate. And we failed like 8 times, 9 times, and we still don't have it yet. So we will be continuing that in today's live stream after our PSO2 dailies and all that stuff. Usually we stream like an hour and a half of PSO2, and then we switch over to the First Ascendant. We also need to play a little bit more of Space Marine. We did stream that 2 days ago with Alex West as well as Emiko. That was really, really awesome. It was a very fun game. So I'm down to play more Space Marine as well. But I really want to get my Ultimate Bunny first because assets, yes.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.